Welcome back to game number 2 between Moscow 5 and Team Acer Poland. If you did miss game 1, it went into the hands of Moscow 5. Fairly comfortable victory in the end, but the first 15 or so minutes were anybody's game. Anyway, I met us joined by a Pulse, and we are still in the champion loading screen, so just waiting for game 2 to kick off. So any thoughts at the moment in that break, that brief respite that we've got, Pulse, after like 4 hours of casting? As to which of these compositions you'd probably be favouring. Obviously, Janna AP mid is going to add a different flavour to this matchup.
I like it, and it makes a lot of sense because they want the aggression down the bottom with Sona that she provides, but then again, you want to get rid of Selva. We had a debate about that as well, and Lee Sin, all this sort of close range carries. So you want to get rid of them, but at the same time, you want to be aggressive in lane to try and shut them down. What do? We put Janna mid, and that's exactly what they're doing. Very, very clever picks. Once again, I'm going to have to give the early advantage in picks to Moscow 5. I just think they've outpicked them at the stage. But obviously, it's 0-0. Everything's to play for.
Yeah, definitely. And we had a little bit of a discussion as to whether I should call it Kelova or Selova. I'm personally of the opinion it's going to be Kelova. Obviously, I need to speak to the guy and figure that one out, but I would have thought if it's Selva, there'd be an S-E-L at the start of the name. Then again, if you think of a word like Sella, I guess it's not spelt with an S, so I just shot myself in the foot, really, haven't I?
But then again, it does look like Kelva. I think it's Selva, but we'll have to ask. This is a conundrum that we need to find out at the end of the match.
Indeed. Either way, both teams are sporadically lining up across the map. Doesn't look like we're going to have any early confrontation kicking off. A few pings there from the team of Moscow 5. Onto the Wraiths, so maybe Alex alongside Darren are thinking about going for Wraiths, but Keleva or Selva, let's just call him Grim Reaper Karthus, is stood there and he is guarding those Wraiths with his life. So LOL Pro is going to come around, take the Wraiths comfortably, and then afterwards, oh my god, they actually stole the Wraiths. Alex, you dirty, dirty man.
Oh, that was...
He took the big Wraith. What can you say? Awesome.
That was fantastic. So, yeah, already Moscow 5 with that slight advantage early onto the game. That was fantastic. Haven't seen that for a long time, but that was just perfect.
That was filthy. I feel like I need to go and have a shower.
Feel dirty, yeah.
I bet there's a sour taste in LOL Pro's mouth right now. Like, dude, what the hell just happened? Well, AP Janna's what happened. Janna, I should say, and she's going to be a constant feature of this game. So it's going to be Karthus against Janna in mid, Jax against Yorick at top, and finally you're going to have Gosu Pepper on Sona, Genja on Corki, facing off against Pucky Style on Ezreal, and Super A's on Taric. And Genja, I know, isn't exactly the biggest user of Graves, so I think he's going back to something he's a bit more comfortable here with Corki. He really likes to play Corki.
Well, they have an exceptionally aggressive bottom lane. I mean, Sona and Corki, massive harass. Then again, you have nice counter initiate from Taric, and of course Corki can follow up on that as well, but I think they have a better lane at the moment.
Well, just some early harass from both teams. Pucky Style has got a point in Essence Flux, and also Mystic Shot. Essence Flux, of course, will not hit the first target, will go through, so it's easier for harassment at this stage of the game, but Mystic Shot does more damage overall when it gets towards the later stages. We're going to have a gank at top lane, forcing the flash away from Darian, going back to Diamond Proc. It's going to be a 2v2 situation here. There is an Ignite down on LOL Pro as well, and the Exhaust. He's going to be jumping back towards his tower, and that should alleviate the pressure, and the action will subside. So both parties are going to be going back towards their respective lanes. Having said that though, Diamond Prox is actually going to go back in for seconds. So, yeah, he's going to go aggressive once again.
Looks like he's just farming his lane. Ganker's tax, man. Ganker's tax. But, yeah, that was odd. I don't know. He's going to look to counter jungle Lee Sin once again. He can probably beat him right now. Level 4 to level 3. Just going to poke him a bit, poke those rapes. But, yeah, he's definitely stronger than him right now. Shyvana's one of the best duelists early game. Level 1 to 5, she is pretty much the strongest with that burnout. And, yeah, Lee Sin's got to be careful, but he is more competent than a lot of junglers, so he can really duel. He's probably one of the best duelists, along with Shyvana. She just has more burst damage early, especially when she's got more health than him.
Alrighty, so Jax has already gone back to spawn. Darian playing Jax 2 games in a row, and actually very similar opening for him. He goes back early, picks up the Ruby Crystal, so he wants to be tanky and trade blow for blow with 760, who's on Yorick. Yorick, of course, is known as being an incredibly irritating top laner to play against, just purely on his ghouls. It's so annoying. We are going to have a stun coming in from Super Rays and some damage put down from Pucky Style. And in the meantime, well, I thought Shyvana may be opting for a gank in mid, but actually Diamond Prox is going to go ahead and recall and pick up his boots, and so he's going to be even quicker around those jungles now.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and pick up those golems. Not too much happening at the moment. And bottom lane.
And a gank at bottom from LOL Pro doing a lot of damage, but Super Rays taking some in return. 2 Ignites have been popped down, one of which on LOL Pro going to be trying to go back in on towards Genja, but here comes Diamond Prox right now. Big damage onto LOL Pro as well, being forced to safeguard back onto Taric. And again, big ganks kind of turn into nothing at the end of the day, just a bit of damage here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, and honestly you expect more ganks from Lee Sin this early on, and Shyvana, you can really capitalize on that. That's what Shyvana wants, and that's kind of like counter meta once again. Moscow 5 always with the counter meta. Do you want ganking junglers? Okay, but while you're ganking, I've just taken all of your jungle. And that's what Diamond Prox is looking for here. Like, Lee Sin will be ganking, and then he comes back to his jungle, and it's all gone. And it will really hurt him in the long run if his team manages to hold their own and not die, basically. And that's what's happening so far. 0-0. Shyvana's going to slowly pull ahead.
Yeah, and Diamond is going to continue to be aggressive in the opposition jungle, putting down those wards, just making a nuisance of himself thus far. Kellever on little to no mana. He has just dinged himself to level 6, so that global presence is now up on the battlefield in the form of Requiem. Going to be recalling, has 1,300 gold at his disposal. So, going to be interesting to see if he builds the Catalyst to the Protector outright. It's going to be a tiny bit short on gold though. There we go, he actually sold, I think it was a ward and a health pot to make enough gold to take down the Catalyst Protector. I mean, he said this time and time again, Pauls. Catalyst Protector is a core item on Karth this early game. He'll build it into Rod of Ages, makes him tankier, makes him do more damage. It's just all-round goodness for him.
Yeah, it's just so poor, it's unbelievable. It's a bit like on support junglers having Frozen Heart, because you need the mana for your abilities and you also need the cooldown reduction. It's just everything that you need. It's just, yeah, it's completely cool. It makes a lot of sense. And meanwhile at top, Dorian had the minion wave push and actually turned around onto 760 and out-traded him. And that's something you've got to be really careful about against great top laners like Dorian. He knows exactly when he has the advantage, even against such a tough lane opponent like 760. Then again, you can turn that around and say, okay, he's got the advantage, but 760 knows when he has his. And turned around and actually just put so much damage, he's forced Dorian out of lane.
Yeah, so Dorian is going to recall with little to no mana alongside health, had 800 gold to spend and literally perfect getting that phage with about 7 gold spare. So knew exactly what he was doing. Going to get the phage, come back towards top lane once again. And interestingly enough, because Kellever had to sell a couple health pots to buy the Catalyst Protector, he has no ward coverage right now. So he's getting pushed back heavily from Alex. And he also has no ward coverage, so if he starts to go past the halfway mark, Shyvana is well and truly going to be in with an opportunity to get that gank successful. In the meantime, Karthus will be picking up that blue from Lee Sin. Of course, Karthus with blue buff, don't need to say too much, it's incredibly important for him at this stage of the game. He's going to be able to spam, pop down his ultimate as well, and hopefully from his perspective, get a few kills on the board for his team. Still, after 8 minutes 20, we've had no first blood, which is the longest period of time that we've had deadlock this evening. A lot of the games actually, Pulse, have been really quick fire from the very beginning. Lots of first bloods around the 30-40 second mark.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And at the moment, both teams just kind of being a bit more defensive, but something could be happening mid.
Oh, well, as I just said, haven't had the first blood just yet. Look at the damage put on Kellever. He is just going to survive with literally 40 HP, if not less. Monsoon has been used to push back LOL Pro. Here comes the ultimate from Karthus and the Ignite as well onto Alex. That's going to be first blood from Kellever onto Alex Itch. They could be picking up the second as well onto Diamond Prox. Lots of slows from Yorick. Is it going to be enough to actually pick up the kill? Looks likely, but Shyvana actually takes down Lee Sin in amongst all of that and may have bought enough time for Darian to move his way down from top lane towards mid In fact, it's not going to be the case. 760 and also Kelva are going to be able to escape. In the meantime, at bot lane, you're going to have more action. Crescendo has been popped off. The True Shot Barrage as well does tag up. Goes to Pepper, but not Genja. Pucky Style is going to be going down, but in the meantime, picks up a kill of his own on towards Sona. And it's now going to be all down to Corki and Tarek. Neither of them look too interested in going on the other, though. 2-3 overall.
Wow, a lot of kills going down, and it's still very, very even. In fact, this time around, Acer very slightly ahead, so this could be the start and push that they need. And both these teams are very, very good at snowballing very small advantages, and we've seen this so often. It's just a small advantage which they snowball, and it's ridiculous. Even when they're behind, if they get like a kill, they snowball it. And that's exactly just how these teams play. That's their play style. And Alex has just been really aggressive mid against that Karthus, and it's that great counterplay. When it comes to team fights, Karthus is going to find it very hard to cement himself in that team, while basically Alex is pushing him out of it with all that CC. It's going to be very interesting, those first couple team fights, especially when Drake is starting to be taken. Around 11 to usually 15 minutes is about the first break.
Again, it just catch a dazzle from Tarek, but Valkyrie'd away to put himself in a much more safe position. In the meantime, both junglers are going to be moving towards mid lane. Diamond Prox is behind LOL Pro, but he's going to safeguard back to his minions. And at the same time, we've got some more action at top lane. Counter-Strike's being used, and the Ignite is on 760. Is it going to be enough damage from Darian to pick up this kill? A quick flash away from 760. Did not want to gamble, did not want to risk. And he's going to be safe back on his tower once again. So goal difference 100 in favour of Moscow 5. Another extremely close start.
Actually, Diamond Fox is going to go down to 760 at top, trying to get this kill. Not going to happen. Just slightly too slow. Just needed one more auto attack. Wow. 760 just can't catch a break here.
He can't. He's consistently being harassed. If not from Diamond Prox, then from Darian. And if not from Darian, then Diamond Prox. There's nothing he can really do at this stage. So Alex is going to try and pick up this Wraith Steal once again. And he's going to do just that. Kelva with the blue buff. In the meantime, he's going to continue to farm. He has also got a Blasting Wand and 840 gold. So 8 more gold, and he has enough to finish off Rod of Ages. Probably going to stay in his lane a tiny bit longer. Maybe push this creep wave, then go back. But in the meantime, Zephyr's been used from Janna. So much burst potential from her. Going to be coming back in once again onto Kelva. In the meantime, at bot lane, going to have a successful gank from Lee Sin. Pucky Star will pick up the kill onto Sona, while Corki was actually back at spawn. So Genja was not able to protect his support in that circumstance. And Acer really did go for the jugular. Now the fact that support is down, Drake should be there for the taking.
Yeah, Moscow 5 are going to go ahead and try and react to this. They have 4 people there, and Yorick is still top.
Oh my god, I said it should be there for the taking, but I didn't factor into how much damage Zephyr would do when this cleanup squad comes in. Lee Sin did take the dragon, but they lost 2 players for it on top of that. So, was it worth it? They're still 300 gold ahead. That was a strange trade.
It was pretty even as it goes. However, they have less players to kind of contest, and Pokestar's going to find Diamond Prox. Did you get that? No, I think Diamond Prox got it. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I'm surprised that Moscow 5 didn't apply more pressure, because usually when they get a couple kills, they're just all over them. But I get the feeling that they're a bit scared of Acer right now, because they kind of underestimated them. The first game was pretty solid in Moscow's favour, and this game, Acer are slightly ahead of them. They're holding their own very, very well. So yeah, I think they're just a bit demoralised at the moment, to the point where they don't want to risk going for those great timing plays.
Speaking of demoralised, he got 760 at top, once again being forced back from Darian, who, even though he had less health, due to the fact that he had the Leap Strike, the Empower, and the Counter Strike, one after the other, he was able to take down 760 quickly. He's going to go back in for seconds. Maybe not the greatest of ideas. Here comes the ultimate from Karthus as well, but he doesn't even need it. On towards Jax, as Ignite will finish things off nicely. And now Moscow 5 trying to pick up the blue. Trying to go for the blue steal, but they are behind enemy lines. Here's Pucky Style firing off the Essence Flux and the Mystic Shot. The Mystic Shot did actually miss Genja. And in the meantime, Alex will be pushing back towards mid lane. So they do manage to steal the blue.
Both teams are punishing each other extremely hard. One team punishes them at blue, and then the other team punishes them at top by taking top tower. It's incredible to watch when you have 2 teams who their playstyles are so similar, and it's just, yeah, it's very interesting to watch. Meanwhile at bottom,
Oh, Crescendo lands on both players, but Genja was also stunned in the meantime. So basically, all three of those affected stunned players came out at the same time, and therefore Genja was not able to capitalize. I have to say, Gosu Pepper using the Crescendo may have just saved Genja's life. So there's two ways of looking at it there. Essence Flux back on towards Gosu Pepper. Didn't quite land. Stun back in once again. Pokestyle is on low HP though. And the power cord from Gosu Pepper will do enough just to push him back. Looks like both bot laners for Team Acer we're thinking about recalling, but now LOLpro is on the scene and hungry for a gank, it would appear. Gosu Pepper being very aggressive, right up in the face. Oh, Alex, don't do it, don't do it. So much damage. The True Shot Barrage comes in as well. Monsoon has been used. Beautiful Howling Gale. Very nearly claims the kill on towards Pokestyle. And it looks like Alex is going to be able to survive as well, even though he ate so much burst from Ezreal, Taric, and Lee Sin. And had he actually picked up the kill on Pokestyle, I think I would have just had some kind of lolgasm.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh my god. Janna is really underestimated because it seems like she's really squishy, but when it's AP Janna, that shield is ridiculous. It's so strong. And also the fact she's got so much CC and the ultimate heals her. She's deceptively tanky and has a deceptive amount of sustainability. Yeah, it's one of the really underestimated champions. And it's amazing. You just saw the strength of AP Janna right there. It's incredible.
Yeah, 3 players breathing down Alex's neck, and he still is able to survive. So, there you go. AP Janna in mid is no joke. It's no troll, ladies and gents. Alex is making it work. So far, he does have a Cage's lucky pick, a blasting wand as well. 2 components, of course, for Deathfire Grasp. Zephyr is doing so much damage onto Kellever, but Kellever is now starting to retaliate with the Wall of Pain and the Lay Waste on top of that coming in. He is taking a lot of damage. Here comes Darren as well, flashing in. The Ignite has been popped down, and it's going to be more than enough to pick up the kill onto Karthus. In the meantime, the LOLpro's going to go back onto Wars Jax. What about that for a Dragon's Kick? And then jumping onto him with the Q as well. The Dragon's Rage, I should say. And then the Sonic Wave afterwards. But Diamond Prox again is going to go ahead and steal. Nice re-steal from LOLpro, queuing through, taking the big Ray. And showing Diamond just what LOLpro is made of. But here comes Yorick. 1 versus 1. In fact, make that a 2 versus 2 now. Alex and LOLpro both coming from the side. And LOLpro taking so much damage from Alex, who actually picks that one up. But here's Yorick flashing through the wall with the Ignite. Monsoon has been popped. Remember, when you have Ignite, it does lower the amount that you heal. And here comes Requiem. It's going to claim the kill. But a valiant attempt from Janna. And that kill on Lee Sin was ridiculous. Bot lane, we're going to have Corki getting taken up from Ezreal. Sona going back. It's a battle of the supports now, ladies and gents, but Taric seems to have the upper hand. Will finish things off onto Sona with very little health. And it's just action all over the map. We didn't have a kill for about 9 minutes, and since then we've had 16 of them.
All at once. All at once. That could be taken out of context. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Alex is just so strong at Janna right now, picking up that extra kill, and that was amazing. Down Prox popped the ultimate over the wall, simply not only to defend Alex Edge, but also to exhaust Yorick so he couldn't actually get to it because it was slow and would reduce the damage as well. Shield comes up and he'd be safe. However, then immediately Karthus respawning, popping his ultimate, which would actually finish them off. It's just amazing. Everyone's playing perfectly, and it's so close. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Yorick has been given fairly free roam though over the last couple of minutes to try and catch up Jax at 114, has a Mana Moon, and also on top of that a Glacial Shroud, so he's slowly but surely getting there. A lot of the action has been focused on the mid and bottom as of late. Now let's have a look at some of those items that are going out to the characters. You got Sheen and Phage on Jax, more likely going to go to Trinity Force. We saw this last time where Darian got Trinity Force and then Guardian's Angel very quickly. Deathfire Grasp has been finished off onto Janna. Phage on Corki, but I wouldn't be too surprised if he has a lot of gold. Yes, he does. 1,800 or thereabouts. A Run of Ages on Karthus, as we were expecting, as we said before. And on Ezreal, we've got a Zeal and a Phage. So it looks like we could have 2 Trinity Forces coming out on both AD carries. Also, both teams lining up for Dragon. It has respawned. It has been a big factor of this game so far. Lee Sin managed to pick it up last time, but at the expense of 2 Team Ace players. Is it going to be the same case again here? 760 has been focused down very quickly. Uses ultimate though. Shyvana picks that one up. Big AoE from both teams. Ezreal firing through his True Shot Barrage. Here comes Karthus very, very scary in these kind of situations. He's just going to lay there, putting down so much damage over time. Ezreal will go onto Corki, so he has the upper hand on this AD exchange. He's now going to be chasing after Darren. Will he pick up the kill? Counter-Strike used. Counter-Strike will come good there. He picks up the double kill, does Alex, but Jax. That was one of the most beefy Counter-Strikes I think I've ever seen. Ezreal must be face-palming so hard. A 5-for-1 exchange and Dragon on top of it for Moscow 5, and that's why they are revered as one of the very best in Europe.
Wow. Wow. Alex, it's just played so well, and everyone played so well, and Darian with that Counter-Strike, everything was just perfect. That's what we've been talking about. It's just so smooth, it's so fluid, it's just ridiculous. Like, not to take anything away from Acer, I mean, they were a great team, but Moscow 5 when they're on top form, it's just crazy.
I can only imagine what was going through Pucky Styles' mind there. I've got to kill, and you know, just Darian's trollolol, you can't kill me, I've got Counter-Strike. Oh, you're both dead. Unlucky. In the meantime, Alex could be going down. Nice Monsoon use, but there's Lee Sin straight afterwards, hopping onto the AP carry of Moscow 5, and he's going to be on the sub bench for 33 more seconds. This is going to allow Karthus to farm a bit in mid. Needs to be careful though. Darren has finished off with Trinity Force, and there's no tower back here. Flash from Keliver. Here comes the Counter Strike again. Will manage to land, and looks like Lee Sin's going to come around from the side. He's going to do enough to force Darren back, but that was really, really close from Keliver's perspective there.
Yeah, and just a little action going in top row as well, and Darren Prox just cutting off 760 as he was coming down into mid to try and assist his allies and cut off Darian, but not going to happen. And meanwhile at bottom, kind of just Genja zoning them out. They're definitely stronger than them right now, and they just don't want to go for that trade. He's being kind of aggressive though. I don't think he needs, or can be at the moment, because they probably will out-trade them if they have more damage.
So even though Ezreal has better stats, he has 4 kills and 1 assist, actually Genja is ahead on gold purely on those dragons and all the kind of team action that we've seen thus far. So it's really close between these ADs though. Like literally 200 gold in it after 21 minutes is not much whatsoever. And overall, it has to be said, it's very, very close as well. 31.4k to 29.7 in Moscow 5's favour. But just going back again, Darian's play there was incredible, just to say the least. It was incredible. We're going to have more action at bot lane. Corki is going to take down Ezreal. Big damage being exchanged. Here comes Shyvana from the side using the Dragon's Descent. Requiem's going to be popped out. Is it going to be enough damage to pick up the kill on Sona? Yes, it will. And Lee Sin will also go down, courtesy of Corki. Will Super Ace be able to escape? The Dragon is in hot pursuit, does eat a dazzle for his troubles, but Super Ace has been exhausted. It's only a matter of time before he goes down. Genja's coming from the backside and will finish off things nicely with that missile barrage. So after saying how close it was between the two AD carries, Corki just goes and gets a double kill, and it's looking like that bot tower will also be falling afterwards.
Meanwhile, mid.
Yeah, Darian is taking a bit of damage, but Keliver is eating a lot as well. Zephyr is just so much burst potential. And now Alex is coming under a lot of pressure. Will be going down. Karthus, in the meantime, is shut down courtesy of Diamond Prox. 760 is trying his best to escape here. Beautiful juking from Darian. Still somehow managing to escape from Karthus. He just needs to survive for a couple more seconds. There you go. But here comes Yorick from the side. And the ghouls will not do enough damage. And it's always true terror when Karthus gets respawned from Yorick and is just chasing after you. Does not care if he dies.
I don't think he cares if he dies anyway. He's actually going to go for that zombie Karthus sort of build. He's got the Rabadon's not going to go for that sustained build of the Zhonya's Hourglass. So that was kind of clever actually. Double zombie Karthus. New meta. You have the zombie from Yorick, and then you die again, and then just deal lots of damage. That makes a lot of sense to me. That's very interesting.
So I was wondering if Genja was going to go for the Trinity Force. It appears it's going to be a tiny bit later. He's got the Phage, and then he's gone BF Sword. He does have another 2,800 gold actually to spend, so I'm sure his build is going to change somewhat in a few moments. But he's now opting to push that top tower. He's allowing his bottom tower to fall. Doesn't really care a great deal about that. Needs to be careful because Yorick is coming around the backside. 760 puts down the ward in the tri-bush. They're actually equal on levels, even though 760 is the top laner, and Genja was of course at bot lane alongside the support. But he has double buff. He's very scary, and he has over 3,000 gold to spend when he goes back to spawn, so that could be pretty much anything he chooses. Before he does, is it going to be Trinity Force, or do you think he's going to buy something with a BS Sword?
I don't know. I can't call it. Actually, no, he's going to go Infinity Edge.
Wow,
Interesting.
okay.
I think he just wanted a utility from Phage, quite frankly, and yeah, that seems to be the case. It makes a lot of sense because he has pretty good scaling, his team's doing pretty well as it is, he doesn't need to be even stronger right now, he can just let himself scale into late game, and the Phage is really nice on carries like Corki anyway. It's pretty nice on any range character because you can just kite, and it gives you tankiness as well, it gives you everything you need. So to just get that for the utility by itself is clever. Very clever.
Yep, so let's have a look. And how is Karthus doing? Whereabouts is he? He's going to be recalling, I should say. And buying up a blasting one. We're going to have some red action on the battlefield as Yorick is being heavily smashed upon. He has popped his ultimate. Crescendo has gone in as well. Here comes Jax, igniting and leap striking afterwards, but somehow Yorick is still alive. Does just go down right as I'm speaking, and now he's going to respawn with his ultimate popped on. Going to be chasing after Diamond Procs. Now the mission for Moscow 5 is just to escape. Now only pushing back, but once again that Yorick has gone down. Caliber is just getting absolutely exploded from Janna and also Shyvana, already nearly dead. But as he said, zombie mode Karthus coming into effect very shortly. He has just died there. The Requiem is going to come out, could claim at least 2 kills here onto Darren and Shyvana, but it's going to get neither as Sona comes in with a heal right at the end of that one. That was ridiculously close. Both of them went under 100 HP, and Sona's heal could have been the difference between life and death. But here comes Pucky Style now, landing the Mystic Shot and the Essence Flux. But again, Sona is going to be able to escape. Dragon is up, and I'm pretty sure that Team Acer are going to go ahead and take this one. So it's going to be very, very close on gold.
That was a great push. Basically, they had Saliva leading the charge, and they didn't want to kill him because they knew as soon as he dies, then Yorick's got the ultimate on, so he's going to carry on coming at us anyway, so there's no use bursting him down. After that was gone, they killed him immediately. Darren Prox went and turned around, took him out. But even then, he was still there, right in front of their tower, and just sieging them. So that's a great situation for Ace, and it was very clever as a pick. And I haven't realised that until like about 10 minutes ago, to the point where Zombie Karthus just becomes even more pertinent because he just carries on coming at you no matter what you do to him. So very, very clever composition. However, if Moscow 5 catch him in a bad position, if that competition gets messed up, then it's not going to look great for them. And what's happening? Baron's attacking a goal, it's fine. Right? So
yeah, I think 760 was just popping his ghouls to get some vision on Baron because the ward had just been down there for Moscow 5. So he's a bit cautious, he's a bit curious as to what was going on in the Baron pit. And he was answered that Moscow 5 are not attempting it just yet. But this, for me personally, Pauls, is really difficult to call. It's anybody's game at this point. Anybody can step up and actually win this one. A good engage from Team Acer with this Karthus doing as much damage as he is could pick it up, and on the flip side, if Moscow 5 can land a couple of abilities one after the other consecutively, they can also pick it up. It's just so incredibly close at this point.
definitely, and it's just if they can get a pick, which, oh, nice time to initiate with the Howling Gale, but if one team can get a pick, then they will force a fight. There's no two ways about it, and Baron is looking like a great place for the next fight right now. Corki is at bottom, he'll probably be getting those golems and recalling very soon. Might just go ahead and fly up top, but he's going to go for the bottom farm. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I think Acer might try and capitalize on this. They've seen Corki bottom, what are they going to do?
Well, we know that Genja is going to take a good 10-15 seconds to get up at Baron, best case scenario. So will they try and force this one? Now they know it's going to be a 4v5 or so, but caught out of position there, Team Acer. For some reason, Karthus alongside Lee Sin moving together without the support of their Taric and also Ezreal. So 2 kills have been exchanged. Ezreal has just picked up the kill into Janna. Previously, Karthus went down very quickly, and his Requiem is not going to play any further part in this team fight. He's back at spawn. So it's all hell breaks loose now. Genja's going to be trying his best with the Gatling gun to do as much armor shredding as possible in amongst all that. 760's running hell for leather through the heart of this Moscow 5 team. Now they start to push back. They line up and Ezreal fires down a true shot barrage. Jax will go onto Yorick. This is looking really poor right now for Team Acer, and I can't help but feel that they're caught out of position well and truly. They kind of went in single file to Moscow 5, who were a player down for the large part of that team fight, and now Corki is part of it once again. That's going to be a dead Lee Sin, so it's a 4-for-1 exchange. Just Janna going down, and everybody but Pucky Style, Ezreal for Team Acer. What happened there from Team Acer? They split up at the worst possible time.
That was a team fight they should have won as well. That was 5 versus 4, and then they get caught out. Celeber gets caught out, and then Lee Sin follows. It was odd. It was really odd. It was like, oh, we have an advantage, and maybe that's what Moscow Fire were trying to bait. Basically, it was like, okay, we put Corky bottom, that'll lure them into a false sense of security, and now we engage in them. And that's basically what happened. Celeber caught out, and they weren't able to utilize their comp of zombie Carthers running into your team. They lost a huge amount of their strength, and Moscow 5 capitalized on it. I get the sense that Moscow 5 were baiting it, and at this level of play, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, Corky wasn't around for the very beginning of the fight, but towards, after the initial kind of burst started, Corky was there. He did move very, very quickly. And I think that may have caught Team Acer a bit off guard, because previously they'd seen him at bot lane farming, and suddenly he's there. He's just in amongst all the action. Of course, he does have Valkyrie. He's got great movement speed on top of that. But still, I'm a bit kind of curious as to what Team Acer were doing. The fact that they went in one after the other and got caught so badly really led to their demise there. And 22 to 16 now is the scoreline, 48.8k to 43.6k, 0.5 I should say, is starting to get bigger and bigger. 5.2k gold advantage to Moscow 5. And again, though, has to be said, Pulse, even though that team fight definitely went against Acer, they can still win this game. They're not out of it just yet.
Oh, for sure, and basically that's what Moscow Fire were trying to do. They were eliminating what makes them strong, and that's Carthus. But I don't think they're going to make the same mistake twice, and Carthus is still strong as ever. So if they go for this team fight, then it's going to be very little difference at least, and that Carthus is still going to be doing work. So, yeah, we're just waiting for the next team fight to erupt, basically.
It could be erupting any second now. Corky's in prime position. He's round the backside. He's going to come in with that Gatling gun. So much damage right now. Bucky Star being forced to just get out of dodge. Popping off the True Shot barrage, but doing nowhere near enough damage to take anybody down. 760, and also Kellerbot on Carter's going to be dropped. Lee Sin trying his best to Dragon's Rage everybody out of contention. Carter's will be able to pick up a kill, but this is a 3-for-1 exchange, and Lee Sin on so low health right now is going to fall. Bucky Star also going to get killed from Alex. AP Janet too strong, a 5-for-1 exchange, and that was all about Genji's positioning. He was behind Team Acer, comes in with the Gatling gun, the Valkyrie, and just pops everybody down. And if you have a look at Puckystyle, he was the first player to drop below half HP. He was forced to get out of there as soon as possible, and that was the massive difference in that team fight. The AD carry for Team Acer just couldn't do anything.
Bucky Star just got demolished at the very start of that fight. Celeber tried his best, he positioned himself perfectly. He was in the middle of 5 people, died in the middle of 5 people, but really didn't do too much because everyone just repositioned themselves as soon as he died. Jax almost fell to the lay waste, but he immediately leap striked 2 down procs, which saved him. It was just perfect play. It was like, okay, we don't really need to be focusing you right now, Carthus. And Carthus was just trying to kill them, and it was just kind of like he was gnawing on the ankle. It's just like, I don't really care about you right now, there's more important targets. And then they did eventually turn around and kill him and just walk away from him. It was just exceptionally well played, and of course they have a lot of mobility as well, which really helps them against Carthus, because what are you going to do? You have so much CC, you can stop everyone from closing you and pushing you into that Carthus. It's just clever play. Celeber play, you could say. Sorry, had to.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see you did. Play on words, I like it. Dragon did go down, by the way, in amongst all that from Diamond Procs. So they are trying to push forward this goal advantage. Suddenly 10k has came out with 10 kills difference between the two teams. So let's have a quick recap on the items. Quicksilver Sash for Ezreal alongside a Trinity Force and also a Last Whisper. Comparing that to Corky. Very interesting that he's gone Frozen Mallet, which makes sense. He wants to be really tanky. Also, slowing players down, chasing after them is incredibly strong in these kind of circumstances, because a lot of the time you're going to have that quick burst fire action and a lot of escapes on the team of Team Aces. So chasing down an Ezreal, for example, could be really crucial at the end of a team fight. Either way, Corky also has an Infinite Edge and a Zeal, and very similar build this time around for Diamond Procs. Instead of going for tankier items, he has just gone for Guardian Angel. He wants to come back as soon as he dies, completely understandably, and Jax also has a Trinity Force alongside a Warmog's Armor and a Glacial Shroud. So much HP on Jax, and he's going to do a lot of damage on top of that. It's difficult to see how Team Acer can come back from this position, to be honest.
Yeah, and Frozen Mallet is a very interesting choice as a defensive item, but it makes a lot of sense. Usually I try to build it on Cogmore or Vayne because it makes sense, because you're basically a hyper carry and you can pin people down, you can duel really well, but as any AD carry it makes a lot of sense. It's quite clever. So we're just in a position again where they're just sieging, and they have great sieging capability with Alex Itch, got that great clear with the Howling Gale, and they have great poke as well with the Missile Barrage and the Howling Gale, and a bit from Gosu Pepper. It's just, yeah, continuous Howling Gales, and they really hurt when they land as well. So maybe they won't pick up mid, maybe they might try and hit bottom. The waves are pushing, so you know they can wait here all day and still be in a good position.
Yeah, that poke from Janna is really painful. And it's almost consistent. She has the blue buff. It costs next to no mana. Can just consistently put that one out alongside the missile barrage, as you said before. So it's going to be painful for Team Acer. Continually stand here. And this could give them to actually a chance to split push. I'm surprised that one of them hasn't actually gone down to bot lane and started to push that, or top lane. Because normally Moscow 5 do like to split push and really rinse out the opposition jungle. This time they seem more content to just stand by and poke, poke, poke. Doing a lot of damage with Deathfire Grasp and the Howling Gale alongside Zephyr. Here comes the Wall of Pain. Shyvana's going to be pushing in with his creep wave. Crescendo has landed on a few players there. Darian is going to pop off the counter-strike. Lots of stuns, lots of CC, lots of damage on top of it. Janna picks up the first kill onto Karthus. He is going to be respawned once again, courtesy of Yorick running right into the fray, right into the middle of all those players. This time Genja is taking a lot of damage, but not enough to take him out. And look at the shield from Janna. It's incredible how much damage that actually absorbs. He will be able to go down this time. Will Alex, courtesy of Ezreal, but so much raw output onto the rest of Team Acer, and suddenly just Taric remains against a 3-strong Moscow 5 lineup featuring Genja, Diamond Prox, and Gosu Pepper, and they're gonna pick that kill up onto Taric, and they're also gonna take down this inhib, surely, as there's another 30 seconds before anybody spawns. In fact, make that 20 for Karthus, and he's not gonna be able to do too much to stave off this inhib.
Wow, and they're actually allocated Sona to get the creeps because she really can't push structures, and they might be trying to take a Nexus turret. No, I think they're going to go bottom. I mean, there's already a minion wave there, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that was amazing. That was under inhib. They drew them out, and that was what was really clever. They gave them the sense that, oh, we're winning the fight now, but that was only because of the turret. And as soon as they drew them out onto open land, they just decimated them. They baited them, and that was like the king of baits. It was so clever. It was just making them think they had the advantage and then turning it around. It may seem simple, but the call was very clever, because it's like not many teams would have that sort of split second, alright, we can win now, turn around and win. It was just, you could kind of sense it. It was like that at that moment, you knew they'd turned around, and Acer realised, oh, we're not going to win this, and then died.
It kind of features into what we said before about viewing Moscow 5 almost as a well-oiled machine. I sometimes question if they're human. Their split decision-making is always spot on the money. They very rarely make glaring mistakes. So, as you say, in that split second they decided, okay, now is the time to engage this full out. Let's kill everybody and let's take down that inhib. And it worked. Yes, they lost 2 players, but, you know, they took 5 players out and an inhib. So in that case, it was a glorious success. Now they're even further ahead on gold. It's 14.3k. They're further ahead on towers. They've got an inhib down, so Super Minions are going to consistently push the mid, which is going to give them advantage when Baron respawns once again. And it's very difficult to see how Moscow 5 can throw away this game, because they simply don't throw, unless you've seen the CLG EU game. But that was more down CLG EU's brilliance. So I can't see how Team Acer can do this. I really can't.
You know what M5 remind me of? They remind me of Skynet. That's what they remind me of. It's just, yeah, they're not human. They can't be. They're literally like machines. It's too much.
Well, I think when Moscow 5 are in the mood to win, there's very few teams that can stand toe-to-toe with them. And it just seems to me at the moment they're in that kind of frame of mind. They're really pushing, they're moving around as a unit. Now Tarik's going to get caught out of position. I'm not too sure what Super Razor's doing here. He's going to go down very quickly. And now, actually, that's going to signify an age from Moscow 5. Darren is taking point alongside Shyvana. He's going to be jumping in with that counter-strike. That mistake from Tarik could cost Team Acer the victory, the win here. And also will put them out of the tournament because they're already 1-0 down. Corki gets a double kill. Will he get the triple as well? Yes, he will. And just 760 and Karthus remain, but not for long. Karthus has gone down. And that's going to be the GG, and congratulations to Moscow 5, who take this 2-0 and will be playing tomorrow in our semi-finals and grand final, potentially. Very comfortable win in the end, Pulse. Looks incredibly strong. In fact, for my money, they look the strongest team of this evening.
It was incredible. At the start of the game, it looked even, but Moscow 5, as we said, got that very, very small advantage and then snowballed it. It's amazing to watch M5 play and watch them play against Acer, who have a very similar playstyle. It was a great game and a great 2 games, and the best team won, but it was definitely M5's day. M5 are in the zone right now.